Yes, yes, yes. Your love is lifting me higher. Absolutely. Hi, welcome. I am practitioner Melissa K. Allen. My pronouns are she, her, and I am so honored to be back with you again for another day that love has made, for another day that music has made. We've got major music happening today. Thank you, choir, for being here. And for a day that grace and creativity has made. For today is the day that our beloved Shelley Walker graduates from ministerial school. That's been a long time coming, and yet we still call her Rev Shelley as if it's already a done deal. So Rev Shannon is with Shelley and her family today for this amazing occasion. So we send love and a whole lot of joy their way as they celebrate. They will be back next week with us in community. I am not your speaker. I have been your host for the last 4 weeks. Thank you for bearing with me as I get my feet under me. Thank you. But Rev Shannon has hooked us up. We've got a wonderful speaker, and I can't wait to introduce you to Reverend James Kress. But first, I want to welcome all of you for being here and everyone online. Thank you for enjoying or joining us in this safe and nurturing space that we call the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. We are an inclusive, progressive, compassionate community, and we're dedicated to doing our inner work and then walking that and living that out into the world. If you are new or new-ish, please know we have created a space here for you exactly as you are this day, this moment. You are welcome here. Everyone is welcome here. We honor all paths of the divine, and I'm just so grateful that you chose to spend some time here in community with us today. If you want any information about who we are, what we do, how we do it, you'll find all of that and more on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. You'll also find it at the welcome table right outside those doors, as well as downstairs in our community room. So thank you, our friends online. The link should be posted for you. In fact, our friends online, now would be a great time to get your candle. If you haven't done so already, I'm kind of curious how many of you have your candle preset. We've been inviting you to do this a couple of weeks, but your candle is something to light it with as we move into our musical spiritual practice in just a moment. But as we do every Sunday, I would like to acknowledge that we here in Lake Oswego, we are on the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people, and we recognize and affirm Indigenous experience, history, and sovereignty. So while we are in this moment of connection, while we are in this this moment of expansion, can we take a moment and recognize why we are each here, in person or online? We do that by speaking in one voice, with love and as love, through love, our vision and our mission. Will you join me in stating those? Our vision, recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation. And our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Speaking of global, we have our friends online today. Thank you so much to our practitioners, Annette Nelson and Cindy Gomez. CSL Colorado is supporting our online community right now. We're live on YouTube, and there's a vibrant conversation happening in that little chat box. Thank you to Cindy and Annette for holding that space. If you would join me in turning around and waving at our friends online, we can get that energy going, that love going. Knowing that they're waving back. I have it on good authority they are waving back. I know I do when I'm online. I am waving back. So it's such a good way to recognize that this message extends so far beyond this very moment. And I'm so grateful that we have the technology that allows that to happen. I think with that, let's take a moment and silence our cell phones if you haven't already. I don't know if I did, so I'm going to introduce our beloved Helen home to do our opening blessing. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Melissa. Just taking a moment to bring ourselves fully present and to feeling into this spirit, into this love, into this community that we have all created this day. Just allow ourselves to breathe into that, the breath of life, the essence of life that we can feel and we can experience right here and right now, knowing that this is the divine intelligence, the creative source, the love that surrounds and brings beauty into this world and to us. To know that we know that we know that we are all of this, that spirit as us shows up here, shows up each moment, each day, is with us in love and in light and in joy, and with us when there is darkness and sadness and grief, never leaving, never forsaking. We just hold that knowing that that is the essence of each one of us. And as we come together where two or more are gathered, there is a great blessing where this vibrational frequency is increased, and we all benefit from that. And just to think about the blessings that we have this day, our beautiful ministry, our kids' ministry, the practitioners, the greeters, all the people, all the hands it takes to bring this service, this time to you to this day. And to know that as we come together in love, it increases in the world. To know that we are the blessing and the blessed. And we just allow ourselves now to feel that gratitude, to feel that common unity, that coming together. And we just release it in love, in light, in the pureness of each one of us. And so it is. Blessed be. Amen. And now I'd like to invite the choir up. And again, remind folks to, at home, to grab your candle as we set our prayer to music with our spiritual practice.
Please sing with us if you're so inspired. We so it is.
Good morning. The following is an excerpt from Joy and Sorrow by Kahil Gibran. Then a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was often filled with your tears. How else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your drink the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that hollowed with knives? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Bernalee. What a treat to have the choir with us this morning. This is our last choir Sunday before we take the summer off. And we are, I'm at a loss for an adjective. Thrilled to be singing with Dorothy Bradley this Sunday.
I got up this morning singing. God is so good. Ooh, I got up this morning singing. God is so good. Ooh, I got up this morning singing. God is so good. Oh, my God is so good to me. I'm feeling good down in my soul, yeah. God is so good. Oh, I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Ooh, feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Oh, my God is so good to me. Well, in my time of trouble singing. God is so good. Oh, in my time of trouble I'm singing. God is so good. Oh, in my time of trouble I'm singing. God is so good. Oh, my God is so good to me. Well, in my time of triumph I know. God is so good. Oh, in my time of triumph I know. God is so good. Oh, in my time of triumph I know. God is so good. Oh, my God is so good to me. When my day is over I'm singing. God is so good. Oh, when my day is over I'm singing. God is so good. Ooh, when my day is over I'm singing. God is so good. Oh, my God is so good to me. Adrian? singing. God is so good. Oh, I got up this morning singing. God is so good. Oh yeah, I got up this morning singing. God is so good. Oh, my God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We are blessed with the New Thought Choir today. Darcy Bradley, the New Thought Messengers. All of this is because of Brian Harris making it all happen. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, guys. My feet weren't really touching the ground to start with. Now I'm just hovering. But it is my pleasure to introduce you to our speaker today. Reverend James Kress is a spiritual way shower with over 35 years of ministerial experience. Reverend James serves as a minister on staff at CSL Seattle. He specializes in guiding people to their inner love, light, and wisdom. Recently trained as a somatic psychology practitioner and coach, Rev James utilizes experiential techniques that help people connect and reconnect to their true self. We are so grateful to have him with us today. Please help me give him a warm welcome, Reverend James Kress.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and thank you to all of you for welcoming me here today. I'm so thrilled to be with you. My name is James Kress. My pronouns are he and him, and wow, what a vibrant community is here. I have lived in Seattle for most of my life. I'm 58 years old. I was born in Wisconsin, but for 53 years I've lived in Seattle. And I just have to say, we've looked to our neighbors from the south with a little bit of like, who are you? When we had a basketball team, it was the Sonics and the Trailblazers, that were kind of, so we don't have a basketball team anymore. And I've been debating on whether I can tell you this or not, but I feel like I can in love because we are all one, right? I'm a graduate of the University of Washington. I'm a Husky. I know I'm down here in Oregon Duckland, so it's fine. But I do want to say just how welcome I am here. I drove in yesterday from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. My partner in love, Lisa, and I, we are partners in love is more accurate, spent 4 days camping up at Priest Lake in northern Idaho. If any of you have been there, oh my gosh. It's beautiful, and my heart is just so full of love and peace and joy of that, and to be able to bring that here is such a joy. I was welcomed very warmly by Mary yesterday, who recommended a great fish and chips bar in town, a little Irish pub. Again, I've had a lot of fish and chips, and this had to be the best fish and chips I've had in a long time. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And then just walking around the town, it was just a vibrancy and an energy here. In Seattle, the neighborhood I live in is Kirkland, which is about 9.5 miles north and east of Seattle. And so it kind of reminded me of Kirkland. And then my younger brother, Dave, lives in close to Los Gatos, California. And so it's like if you put Los Gatos and Kirkland in a blender, wow, you get Lake Oswego. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but it's just been a joy to be here and get to know you, and really want to thank you for welcoming me into your community and into your space. A couple months ago, I had a chance to connect with Reverend Shannon and talk about today, and as she told me about the life of this church and how active it is, I knew immediately what I wanted to talk about, and so I'm really, really excited, and I've got a lot to share with you, and I'm so thankful that they told me I've got till about 1 o'clock today is when the service gets done, so... No, I've got way too much to share, but I'll do my best to honor all of our time so that we can be on with our day today. But just a little bit more background about me spiritually, so that you can just understand where I'm coming from. I grew up a nominal Catholic, and by nominal I mean we only went to Mass on Christmas and Easter. My parents split when I was young, and my brother and I grew up with my dad. And he was very agnostic toward the Catholic Church and God and everything that was associated with that. But when I was a senior in high school, the latter part of my senior year in high school, I had a full-on born-again Christian experience, and just soaked it all up. And it was at that time in my life, I was just amazed at God and Jesus could be so certain. And looking back, people say, James, what were you thinking? What happened? What went on? Well, I can tell you, it was two things that at the time was provided me. Number one, a sense of the dogma provided a sense of clarity in a world that for me was chaotic and unpredictable. On the outside, I was a really good person. I got good grades and got along with people, but on the inside, I was a mess. And so, wow, the dogma and the clarity was just brought some structure and order to that. But the second thing that community did was brought a sense of belonging. Belonging. If you sign up for these beliefs, you belong to this family and to this tribe, and in that world, it was us against the world, and it was just very, easy to get into that. But very early on, I started to have some inner struggles with this. The message of love and acceptance and boundary-breaking, radical love, that turns communities inside out and upside down was really attracted to me. But I couldn't get over the only one way being Jesus. And if you don't, you're going to go to this really bad place when you die. I was never really happy. So long story short, skipping over a lot of things, about 8 years ago, all of that deconstructed, and I found myself 5 years ago at the Center for Spiritual Living in Seattle. I went through ministerial affiliation and licensure, and have just been so grateful for this community and to be able to work and serve with Reverend Kathy Ann Lewis up in Seattle, and the entire staff up there has just been great. And even as I talk to you now about it, I just feel chills of gratitude for the roots that I've been able to set down, as well as the expansiveness and the welcomingness, if I can use that word, of what that community has been to me. And so it's with that sense of gratitude and respect that I'm here this morning. And what I want to share with you this morning about Polarities comes from a place of deep care and deep passion for our movement and what it represents. Some of what I say may be a little provocative. I hope not. It comes from a place of love and care, but I am curious to know how it lands for you, because it's actually, I hope I can say this okay. I'm teaching a class at the end of June on religious recovery, and so a lot of these ideas are coming from that. But I care so much about this movement, as I know we all do, that we want to grow. And my intention here today is in sharing what I want to share is that the consciousness of activism and work that you're doing in this community will both, one, deepen from a place of conviction and love, as well as expand. Maybe expand in some ways you haven't thought of or dreamt. But the container that I'd like to hold for us here, if we can co-create, is a container of love. Is a container of love. I really believe that what is divine and what is sacred is fundamentally love, and love is all that which is fundamentally divine and sacred. Call it God, spirit, force, life, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure who this quote is attributed to. I think it's Ernest Holmes, but I've Googled it and I haven't found it anyway. But one of my things is that love is an intelligence that seeks expression. Love is an intelligence that seeks expression. And therefore, you and I are expressions of that love. And something else I'd like to offer you, then, if that is true, then maybe love is not something we have, but rather something we what? Give. Something we give, yeah? And something we are. I heard it over there. Yeah. What would shift in your life if it was true that love is something that you already have? It's not something you have to go out and get. It's not something you have to go out and earn. It's not something you have to even deserve, but you simply connect back to it. Another quote of mine that means a lot to me is by a gentleman named Armand Bitan, who says, when your heart is open, you don't need to know the rules. You create them. I wonder what kind of new rules could be created if we brought a greater awareness of our own love to our lives and what we're doing. I think it could be powerful. I love the vision and the mission of this church. Recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone in all creation. And the two words that I highlighted in that is everyone and all creation. Are we there yet? We're getting there. But if a vision is a good one, like this one, it's aspirational, and it's something that we won't fully see realized in our lifetime. Truly. I love that. And I love the mission, though, providing spiritual tools for personal and global growth and transformation. Oh, I love that. I love that. That is something that we can see in our world today. And so what I want to talk about as we think about the unfolding of love and the expression of love in our communities is this idea of polarities. Polarities, and including polarities in our life. The message title is including. We could call it welcoming polarities, valuing polarities, leveraging polarities. I'm not sure. It's just, this can all do that. But what is a polarity? Well, a polarity is simply the presence of two seemingly contradictory ideas or realities, such as liberal, conservative, expansion, consolidation, change, stability, decentralize, centralize, individual, collective, order, disorder, freedom, structure, darkness, light, known, unknown. I think you get the idea. Can you think of any other polarities as I've just been listing them? Any other come to mind? You just shout it out. Or not, okay? Dark and light, what's that? Oneness and separation, absolutely. Yeah. Love and fear, love and hate. What? Good and bad. Chaos and peace. Sure. Love and beauty. Yeah. Well, there's one polarity in particular that I'd like to play with a little bit this morning. And before we get into it, I would just like to invite all of you to just, again, take a moment and connect back into the love that you have and the love that is here. So if you would, just take a moment and take a few nice deep breaths. Just allow yourself to become aware of the presence of love here and the presence of love within. Maybe call to mind things that bring you back to love. Maybe it's loved ones, animals, ancestors, guides, nature. Just allow yourself to sit with the awareness of the love and the fullness of love that is here. And then allow that loving awareness to drop down inside, and particularly in your body. And if you're noticing any places in your body that might be holding tension or discomfort or feeling a little out of sorts, can you just bring loving awareness and kindness to that? And with this loving, kind awareness of your body and your presence here, I'm going to offer two words. And the invitation is to just notice where or how these words land in your body, or are there thoughts and feelings that are connected to them. And maybe not. Maybe nothing will. And if so, that's okay. Again, this isn't a test. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But the first word I'd invite you to bring into your consciousness is spiritual. Spiritual. Where and how does spiritual live in your body? Are there words, sensations? Just make a mental note. And the second word I'd invite you to bring into your consciousness is religious. Religious. Again, without trying to fix or change or maybe even understand, just noticing if anything's shifted or not. Just expressing now to yourself and to this community love and gratitude. I invite you to take a few more nice deep breaths and gently allow your eyes to open and come back into the space here. You may want to, I'd invite you, if you're taking notes or something, maybe just jot yourself a little note about what that experience was like. But and if you're online, maybe you could drop in the chat, spiritual, religious, how that landed or how that felt. But any of you here be willing to share just, how did spiritual land? How did it feel in your body? Anybody have anything to share? It felt flexible. Flexible? A vessel. Uh-huh. Beautiful. Beautiful.
That way too. Spiritual was an awareness that had my body. Religious went to my head.
Interesting. So spiritual had your body, religious went to your head in the context of a vessel. Uh-huh. Yeah. Wow, neck, body, shoulders, tingles, where spiritual lives? Fascinating, fascinating. Religion, the tips of, fascinating. Good. What? Embraced in love. Good. Anyone over here? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's with that transition. Some of you have already touched on this, but how did religion sit? So you mentioned darkness or cold and flat. Uh-huh, thank you. Yeah, what else? What was about the word religion? Or, yeah. Yep. Stern, one way, closed with religion. Yeah. It's quite a contrast to spirituality. Yeah. One more? Yeah. Yeah. Spiritual, fluffy, religious, a blanket, a covering. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Spirit within, religious out there.
The rules of the world.
Yeah.
This is the rule of the spirit, the feeling of spirit, that's the rules of the world.
Yes. So I'm guessing by now you probably know where this talk is going, right? Oh, wow, rocket science, okay? How many of you have come across people or might even categorize yourself as spiritual but not religious? Is that you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so popular. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense, right? For many of us, we carry a religious background that had some external force or entity or person or whatever impose upon us a way of being that wasn't congruent with who we are. And it came from that sense of, for others, it just could be a sense of ignorance. I wasn't raised with anything, so I don't know. But religion, I associate with that, and with it, there's the fragrance and the aroma of guilt, duty, obligation, fear, punishment, and in many cases, I use this word quite intentionally, abuse. because I think of abuse as anything that denies an individual's humanity and spirituality. And so religion has this way of doing that to us. And so fittingly and properly so, there's a reaction to it. But I'd like to come back to our mission, and I'd like to come back to our vision, and I'd like to come back to the roots of this movement as I know it and understand it and love it. Can religion and spirituality coexist? And I'm wondering what that looks like. We're going to explore that in my class I'm teaching at the end of June. So I can't help myself. I'm excited. Okay, I'm not trying to peddle stuff or whatever. Okay, but here's what I mean. What would shift if the story, the religious story that all of us bring, could be held in a consciousness of love, unconditional acceptance, unconditional validation? Could love shift the story? Could love change the story? And here's why it's important, because if religion is something that we're supposed to eliminate or expunge from our life, or not maybe even connect with the pain of it, what it does is then it kind of sits in the back seat like a backseat driver and drives our lives. At least this is how it's been for me. And the reactions and the aversions and the things that I have, instead of moving intentionally and consciously towards something, I'm running from something that I don't like or something that has hurt me. And so this is where I think, what could happen? What could happen if we as a community, we or you as an individual, this is just an invitation, could describe ourselves as spiritual and religious? I like etymologies, word etymologies, and the etymology of the word religion is from the prefix re, which means again, and ligion, ligio, ligament, which means to connect or to bind. So at its very, very essential root, religion is to again connect, again bind. Now, whatever your religious experience was, whatever your church experience was, and I know, unfortunately, the unhelpful world very, very well, too well. But if we introduce love, and this life's journey, and this community's journey, and our work together was about connecting again to a love that we already have, that's already enough, that's already sufficient, that's already perfect, and all the trials and tribulations and ups and downs and ins and outs of going there. If life is about returning to that love, could religion be whatever it is for you or for me to connect again, to connect, bind to the love that is already ours, and then spirituality becomes the expression of it. All that expansiveness, fluffiness, airiness, joy, and that all of you said that you experienced spirituality with. Religion just becomes the practice that gets us there. And I've been involved in CSL for about 5 years, and I just got to tell you, there's a religion to what we do here. There's a liturgy to the service. Wonderful music by the choir. By the way, I feel so blessed to have the choir here today. Yes. I don't know if I said this earlier in my bio. I was a pastor in the evangelical tradition for 28 years. I was a part of a big church in Seattle that, their theology was pretty much Southern Baptist. And the first half of that 28-year career was as a choir director, a music director. So I love choirs. Yes. and I appreciate that and feel so blessed to be a part of that. And why did I tell you that story now? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yes. Oh, I know why. But there's a religion, there's a formality to that's there, okay? And I'm hoping that maybe we can recognize in our practice here, there's a liturgy to what we do, an opening song, a blessing, a reading, a message, a talk, this, that, and the other thing. All it is just a form, it's just a structure, and it's okay. It's neither right or it's neither wrong. I've had a chance to circle with so many people in this world, who describe themselves as spiritual, not religious, and I can't help but notice the religiosity to their practices and their imagination, whether it's talking about past lives or spirit guides or twin flames or ancestors, and then the labels we put on things as pagan or Wiccan or not that, These are just things that the mind does to make sense of it all, right? But can we in love just notice our minds doing that and kind of hold it with a laughing, joyful consciousness, okay? That's what it is. When I was going through my spiritual deconstruction 8 years ago, I had a dear friend who thought I was becoming atheist. So he turned me on to this network of former Christian ministers who are now atheists. And so I would listen to these guys talk. I'll tell you what, they preached with all the passion and all the fire and the brimstone of the Baptist preachers that I was leaving, getting out of. I couldn't believe it, But it's just interesting. Whether it's atheist, agnostic, not Gnostic, whatever, it doesn't matter. Labels are helpful in bringing clarity and context and all that to what we're doing. So I'm not saying don't have labels, don't have them, but just understand the limits of their value and their worth. Words are very helpful, but they're also limiting because they divide. They're divisive. And so in bringing all of this to, okay, well, so what, James? Now this is great. What could this mean for me? What could this mean for us? Here's the question that I would just pose to us as a community. And though I'm not here often, although I'd love to be here more, this is just a great place to come and get energized. For us, I'm including myself as a big fan from Seattle now, so into this whole thing. But as we think of being religious and spiritual, Richard Rohr is an author who's been very helpful to me. And in his book, The Universal Christ, he says, we don't think ourselves into new ways of living, we live ourselves into new ways of thinking. And so when I think about, the science of mind, and yes, the power of the mind to create our realities, yes, but that power, my friends, comes from the heart, not from here. The language of the mind is logic, it's reason. It's survival. This organ, this wonderful organ we have up here is fundamentally for our survival as a species, and it's wonderful. But I would just offer that our heart and our gut, that's the language of love, the language of mystery, the language of moving forward. And so oftentimes these internal conflicts that we have is this, wanting to go back and wanting to hold on to what's familiar and to what's new, fittingly and properly so. Many of you have been a part of this church for many, many years, and there's a comfort and there's a familiarity of coming here and knowing the ministers and hearing the message and being encouraged with that. Yes, it's great. And can we give loving awareness to the heart, which wants to keep moving into mystery? How can you know if you're living in polarity? Because you're living in the mystery. You're living in the unknown. You're living on the edge. I think it was Jim Whittaker, the first American to summit Mount Everest, who said, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. And I have a feeling this congregation here is a room of edge livers. You're living on the forward edge. You're out there making a difference. But the path and the experience of love's expression is that of order, disorder, and reorder. And here's where I was going with that other thing. Richard Rohr talks about spiritual movements. They go through a life cycle, starting out as a movement, and then becoming a machine, and then becoming a monument. Now, he's a Franciscan priest, so he's speaking about the context of the Catholic Church. And if we look at the Catholic Church, it's real easy to see how its roots and its beginning is in the early 1st century and 2nd century. It was a disorganized, decentralized group of people who were just committed to radical love. Something else that I do on the side that I really enjoy is studying the Gnostic Gospels, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Philip, Gospel of Love, because it's the untold side of the story. When the New Testament was canonized in the 4th century, these were writings that were not included by the councils of men who decided this is what it was all about. But anyway, this force for good in the world that was started by this person named Jesus of Nazareth. And by the way, there's a difference between having the faith of Jesus and having faith in Jesus. Having the eyes, the heart, the ears, the mind to love the world, as he did, yes, that's something that can be very helpful and useful for us. But what happened over the life cycle of the Catholic Church is in its infancy, pre-Catholic days, it was this force for good. Then when religion or spirituality met empire and power, things went sideways. This is a word for those of us today who wish that we might have leadership in our world that's more favorable and more conducive to our cause and in our movement. Dangerous things happen when religion and spirituality marry politics and empire and power and control. Are the challenges that we face today real? Absolutely, but there's no better time to be who we are today when things are the way they are. There's no better time for that. People, my middle daughter, I have 3 kids, a 30-year-old son, a 26-year-old daughter, and a 24-year-old daughter. My middle daughter lives in Atlanta, Georgia. The other 2 live up in Seattle. Going to the South, it's just like entering another world. Hello, well, even the drive from Seattle to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, that's a different world, and it's a different culture that's there. And people always say, oh, Seattle, you got to get out. It's just so irreligious. It's so unspiritual. I'm saying, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? People in the Northwest are as spiritually hungry and vibrant and open as they can. What they're not doing, fittingly and properly so in my opinion, is they're saying no to tradition. They're saying no to the things that don't serve anymore, and they're keeping their eyes on love, dreaming and imagining new ways to be a force for good in the world. Yes, it's so good. Hallelujah. But here's the thought where I'd like to leave it. It's real easy to look at places like the Catholic Church or some of the religious places and goes, yeah, those yucky yucks. How could they be that way? But something that I think is much more useful, much more humbling, and much more sobering is to ask ourselves today in this congregation, what is the now of then? Or what is the now or the here of them? In other words, instead of looking at the other guys out there and poking the finger at all the things that they do wrong, what are the things that we might be holding on to here that are limiting us? I don't pretend to know what they are, but I do know that each and every heart here is a good heart, fundamentally good, with a spirit and intuition that is good. And if we can hold some of these tender questions, in consciousness, great things could happen. I believe if Ernest Holmes were here today, he would say, read my writings. Yes, let them nourish you, let them feed you, but for the love of God, don't take them as gospel. Let them take you to the God who gave them to me and receive that fresh word for today. That's what I would want. I'm no Ernest Holmes, I'm not going to say that, but I mean, for my life, for everybody's life, don't listen to the words of me or whatever. Rather, let my words provoke you and take you to the God, to the vine, to source, to spirit. Again, whatever you want to call him, her, she, it, whatever, and let that fill you, let that inspire you, and let that draw us together. Because love is that which binds us together. Is it always comfortable? No. As they say, there's no learning in the comfort zone, and there's no comfort in the learning zone. There's going to be friction. But this idea of if we keep ourselves done that, we keep this movement as a movement and keep it from becoming a machine with mechanisms that we have to keep running. And lastly, it can ossify and become a movement. A monument, where instead of the organization existing for the good of the community exists for the good of the organization. And I've seen that happen in so many so-called Christian churches that I have a real thing that I don't want to see it happen here. And so that's why I kind of provoke and kind of keep us on the edge of things and always living in paradox. And always living with polarity. When we hold polarities, here's another polarity. We can understand ourselves both as creators and being created. I'm all for the power of the mind to manifest and call in dreams and goodness. And as those dreams and goodness are called in, there's a forming and a creation that happens. I love the opening song that we sang. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. So easy to sing, right? Easy to practice? No. I've been through 3 major losses this last year in my life. identity stripping losses, things are on which that I have built my identity. Life has taken them away, and it would be really easy to look at it as cruel, unfair, unjust. And there's a big part of me in my wiring as a 58-year-old white cisgendered male that can go there. But how grateful I am for my community of love, like this one, the one in Seattle, the one that's emerging in Idaho, and I don't know where else is going on. We need each other. As I think it's Ram Dass who says, we're just holding each other's hand, walking each other home. So much more to say. We'll put just a quick comma there, but I want to end with a poem and a prayer. Reinhold Niebuhr, if any of you have heard of him, he was a pastor, a minister in the U.S. in the early 1920s and 30s, I believe. But I think he really, in this poem, captures the working out and the expression of love in our communities. And I just want to share it with you, and then we'll pray. He writes, "Nothing that is worth doing can be achieved in our lifetime. Therefore, we must be saved by hope. Nothing which is true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we must be saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we must be saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend or foe as it is from our own standpoint. Therefore, we must be saved by that final form of love, which is forgiveness." Let's pray. Just taking a moment to breathe and take in everything that's present for you, whatever is present in our community here this morning, and knowing that the love, the life, the joy, and the wisdom of the divine is here. So are we. We are a collective and individual expression of sacred love, light, joy, and wisdom. So because of that, I know that even as we go forth from this day, we can have the confidence, the assurance, the calm and the peace that we are living into the perfection and the fullness of love that is already ours individually and collectively. And for that, with all of us here today, I give thanks. I give love. And I call it so, so, so very good. And so it is. Amen.
Wow, Reverend James, thank you. I really hope that class that you're teaching is available online because I want to sign up. Wow, thank you for that message of love. That is so beautiful. And this is now our time for conscious giving. This is where we get to pay it forward and participate in that circulating of good and of blessings. There are many ways to give. There are baskets that will circulate in just a moment. We also have our QR code on the screen for easy scanning. And you can also text to give at 503-966-3236 or give online at our website, newthoughtcsl.org. While you're there, you can sign up so that you can have automatic contributions happen week after week. You just stay in the flow and let it grow. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you, for it is your gifts, it is your contributions, it is your financial support that lets this happen. We are here because of your gifts. So we thank you so, so very much. And please know that your gifts keep giving. Everything that we receive also gets into that circulation. There are various organizations and services that we help support, those that are doing good work in the world and that are putting their energy towards the values that we hold so dear. These are just a few of the ones that we are participating with. So I thank you for making all of this happen. Let's say a blessing on our gifts. If you'd like to hold that over your heart, we also have cards for those of us that are automatic pledgers or that are doing a digital contribution. We'll place that over our heart and let's speak a word of blessing together, shall we? From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you. And so it is. Thank you so very much. Brian, take it away. Choir's coming back up. Oh, always good when we have a choir Sunday.
Can't escape disappointment, I can't avoid the delay, but I don't have to make feeling down and defeated the place that I stay. I'm gonna rise to the moment, gonna speak to the waves, gonna push back that doubt that keeps dragging me down when I can't find a way. Don't need to see it, eyes on you, and to believe it for my breakthrough. Before you even move on, make a way. I'll stand in faith, eyes on you, walk by faith for my breakthrough, live by faith before you. Oh, I believe, stand in faith, eyes on you, see by faith for my breakthrough, see by faith for you. Oh, I believe. It's a season for healing, and it's a season for change. To see miracles happen that no one can fathom is heaven and babe. And it's more than a feeling, and it's anchored in praise. And when it's the darkest, it reaches the farthest and opens the way. Don't need to see it, eyes on you, and to believe it for my breakthrough. Before you even move on, make a way. I will stand in faith, eyes on walk by faith for my breakthrough, live by faith for you. Oh, I believe. Stand in faith, eyes on see by faith for my breakthrough, receive by faith for see by faith, we see by faith. Oh, I believe, stand in faith. Give it up for the choir.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Just a couple of quick announcements. Finish us off today here. Rev Shannon has been studying sacred numerology for over 30 years, and she's bringing a brand new sacred numerology workshop to us. You will have the opportunity to explore an ancient portal into your soul's vibrational design and learn how your name, birth date, and meaningful numbers in your life hold sacred keys to your divine path. This special 2-hour workshop will be next Sunday, June 8th at 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific, in person and online, and it will be recorded. If you are local, a light lunch will be available before the workshop. Register now at newthoughtcsl.org. For local folks, here at NTCSL, our core value is oneness and ensuring a world that works for everyone. We stand for human dignity for all people. One of the most important ways we pray is with our action in the world. And so you're invited to join Reverend Shannon and Shelley for a very special event. We will stand in solidarity together at the No Kings March on Saturday, June 14th. We're all going to meet at Voodoo Donuts, located at Southwest 3rd and Ankeny at 11:30 a.m., and we will be in our NTCSL t-shirts. Look for the balloons. We'll walk the 3 short blocks to the waterfront together. As always, if you need a sign, we have sign-making materials downstairs in the community hall. And for our beloved online community, please consider looking up the No Kings March in your area and join us in spirit. And registration is now open for our summer certified class, a deep dive into New Thought, the illuminating writings of Ernest Holmes. This is a 6-week class on Tuesday evenings from June 10 to July 15th, from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific, online only, with practitioner B. Westcott Curl. Yahoo! This class explores the profound writings of Ernest Holmes, enabling participants to delve into the depths of his wisdom and gain invaluable insights into the nature and consciousness of spirituality. This is a certified CSL course and prerequisite for practitioner studies. Register now at newthoughtcsl.org.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much. Thank you all for choosing to be here in person today. Thank you for tuning in online and being in this connection with us. We have people joining us from all over, including Colorado, Oregon, Washington, Nebraska, Nevada, California, Germany, and Spain. And those are just the ones that chose to tell us that they're tuning in. We have so many people that join in during the course of the week, and we are so grateful you make the choice to be with us in community. I'd like to thank our online hosts, practitioners, Annette Nelson and Cindy Gomez. Thank you so very much for holding this space. Our welcome team right out at the table is Bonnie Duncan and Tracy Cronin. Thank you so much for being that bright, smiling face when people walk in the door. I'd like to invite the practitioners in the room to please come on down, and those who supported today's service, please come on up. And I'd let you know that our sanctuary turns into a place of prayer and meditation as soon as we are complete with our service today. If there is something that is weighing on your heart, if there is a celebration you want to express, or if there's just something you can't quite name yet, please come up. These are your people. We are your gift. It is our honor to be with you and to spend a couple of sacred minutes with you, knowing the truth with you and for you. Following our service, I just said that part, check. Parents, please make sure to pick up your parents. Really? Can you fix that in post, please? We'll try that again. Parents, please make sure to pick up your kiddos before heading downstairs. If your heart says stay for prayer, please do. Otherwise, join us downstairs. We'll have some nosh, some coffee, the bookstore, conversation, and it's a wonderful way to finish the day. I would like to please invite Reverend James up once again. Please give him a hearty thank you for his being here today. What a beautiful, beautiful gift. So let's take a moment to speak one last word of blessing. We'll sing one joy song, and then we'll walk out into the world as light, shall we? May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light until we meet again. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are loved. Let's sing.
I really